Indeed, the High Representative Borrell invited Prime Minister Kurti and President Vuçiq to come to Brussels to a crisis meeting to find a way out of the escalation we are witnessing and to return to the implementation of the dialogue agreements. The date of the meeting has not been set yet because the parties have not confirmed their attendance so far. High Representative and also the EU member states expect a more reasonable attitude from partners who aspire to join the European Union. They are both invited and we expect them to come without preconditions. Finding a solution is, first of all, in the interest of people in Kosovo and in Serbia. So the invitation by HRVP is an opportunity offered to both Prime Minister Kurti and President Vuçiq to show that they can be constructive after all and try to find a solution, because this is not to please Brussels. This is about the future. This is about the European future for people in Kosovo and Serbia. And the lack of engagement will have inevitably consequences on the citizens, both in Kosovo and in Serbia. And this is solely responsibility of the two leaders, President Vuçiq and Prime Minister Kurti. It's no one else's responsibility. Fortunately, there has not been further escalation, physical escalation on the ground in the last few days. But on the other hand, we still haven't seen any meaningful, immediate steps to de-escalate, towards the de-escalation. And that was the reason why High Representative invited both leaders to come for a crisis meeting to Brussels to agree on concrete way out from the situation and on concrete de-escalation. And as I said, so far we were not able to set the date because we have no response, except of hearing some very unconstructive public remarks. But we expect them to come without preconditions and to be able to find a way out of the crisis, because it's up to two of them to discuss, come up with solutions. We will be happy, as always, to help them, to facilitate, to advise, but in the end, it's their decision to do something to de-escalate, because this is in the interest of their people. At this stage, we are focusing on the invitation by High Representative to help the two sides to find a solution. That's why he invited them for a crisis meeting in Brussels. And as we said repeatedly, we expect them to show a reasonable attitude and to come to Brussels and to make the necessary efforts to de-escalate. And we take it from there, depending on how the meeting, whether the meeting happens and how it goes. As I said, we have two important EU platforms now upcoming. One is the FAC, the Meeting of Foreign Affairs Council on Monday in Luxembourg, dealing with the situation. Another are the upcoming council conclusions. All these will be reflected. The behavior, the actions of both sides will be reflected in these two very important events that are upcoming for the EU perspective and the EU path of both of Serbia and Kosovo. So depending on how it goes and if it goes forward, the EU and the High Representative will then decide about the next steps. But at this stage, we are focusing on what is really immediately needed, and that's the urgent de-escalation and politically finding the way out of the situation.